party who comes to the mainstream politics as of now, be it Jamaat or Engineer Rashid, they are being labelled as agents of BJP. I want to ask them, is it only their right to represent people?
State is partially responsible for it, even though non-state actors also played a role, and we condemn it. We condemn what was done to Kashmiri Pandits, and we feel for them.
We are not communal by nature. We want love, we want peace, we want prosperity, we want security, we want dignity. We are fed up with all this. Solution तो तब निकलेगा किसी बात का कि जब मैं कुछ बोलूँगा, आप वहाँ से कुछ बोलोगे. We will reach to a mutual agreement. आप मेरी बात सुनने के लिए तैयार हो नहीं, फिर कहते हो सब चंगा है. मैं तो कहता भी नहीं हूँ सब चंगा है, मैं तो कुछ कहता ही नहीं हूँ. This is the state of Kashmir.
Your relationship with Kashmiri Pandits, you said you have a friend. What do they feel about this? And of course, what do you think the solution can be for them to come back?
Sab was not changa in Kashmir before 2019. Sab is not changa in Kashmir after the abrogation.
Treat us like humans, like, let us express ourselves. Let us live. Fair is everywhere in Kashmir. It's, this normalcy and everything. It's basically fair. People are scared.
If there were enough corporate sectors or MNCs, people wouldn't have to rush to another states. All of that, it takes a toll on your mental health as well.
We have issue of not being able to speak out our hearts. That's more big issue than Article 370.
अगर ये बोल रहे 2019 के बाद चेंज है तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी बड़ा होगा तो वो कहाँ गया?
By the eyes of a common Kashmiri, to me development means dignity.
Problem is here कि एक chief minister का बेटा ही chief minister बनेगा.
And national conference, I feel like no one can question their Indianness, if that's the word. Like, I think they're the most Indian Kashmiris to have ever lived.
It's not Indianness they are behind. It's the chair actually.
So are you going to be a journalist?
Not at all.
Why?
दिमाग की बत्ती जल गई जल्दी.
Welcome to another election show. We're in Srinagar. We're going to be in conversation with students from Kashmir University. We're going to be talking about their issues this election, what are the things that they have been thinking of, and of course life after abrogation of Article 370. So let's get straight in. सबसे पहले thank you so much guys for coming. I think हम लोग एक introduction ले लेते हैं with what you guys are studying.
My name is Umar Jamal. I study law at University of Kashmir.
Hi, my name is Khalid Sherwani and I am a final year law student.
Meshi this side, and I'm pursuing honors in psychology.
Hello, my name is Aman and I'm a recent journalism pass out.
So one person from our community.
Myself Zubair Shafi. I'm pursuing mass comm journalism and I'm at the last leg of it at Kashmir University.
Great. तो हम journalism की बात करेंगे कश्मीर में because it's quite an interesting topic. So journalism, psychology and law. I think सबसे पहले why don't you guys tell us कि इस elections में आपके क्या issues हैं, क्या मुद्दे हैं? What are you guys going to be thinking of?
Elections are being held after interlude of 10 odd years.
Assembly elections.
Yes. So people of Kashmir, they are a bit zealous this time around. They post 2019 they have not been able to express themselves. They see these elections as an opportunity to express themselves. So that's why you see in the parliamentary elections also there was surge in voter percentage. Why? People want to express themselves. So at the same time, people of Kashmir know that the UT assembly would not be able to do much for them. But these assemblies are in a way symbolic. People want to send message loud and clear to the center, whether they are happy with the August 5th decision or not. So with the result of elections, you would have realized that with parliament elections. So you have this one gentleman from North Kashmir's Baramulla constituency. He was in the jail.
Engineer Rashid. जो अब बाहर आ गए हैं और बहुत उनके videos viral हो रहे हैं.
He fought against the two biggest political figures, Umar Abdullah, National Conference, Vice President of National Conference, and then Sajjad Ghani Loon, Supremo of People's Conference. He fought in the jail, but he was able to win and win with huge margin, win with 2 lakh votes. That sends a message, like what people of Kashmir feel about the August 5th decision, or what they feel about the political parties that have ruled directly or indirectly for past 7 decades.
So we'll come back to this, but the main issue you think this time is कि लोग अपने आप को express करना चाहते हैं with a vote.
True it is. Like they know that QT assembly cannot do much for them. Even though that the honorable Home Minister and Prime Minister, they have made promises to us that the statehood would be restored. But people of Jammu Kashmir don't think. They think that if the BJP government is able to come into power, they'll restore it. Now, if it is non-BJP government, they will not. That is what is perception in the common masses.
Main issue is about the representation. Our voices our voices should be heard. I believe that over all these years, without a representative democracy where we have not elected our representative in past 10 years, how do I expect anyone to represent me? For my voice to be heard in the assembly or in the parliament, it is very necessary and important that I be given a chance to elect my leader. Now this is happening this time in Kashmir after 10 years. We are happy about it. And you see how the political parties are coming together and trying to persuade us to give them votes. But Kashmiris are very politically mature people. You can see the result in North Kashmir Lok Sabha elections. Although a person was in jail, he did not have so much money to campaign and had lack of resources. He still managed to win by a very big margin. Why? Because he appealed to the conscience of the people. He appealed to the conscience of youth. Because youth saw a ray of hope in him. Why do we see that all over it's Engineer Rashid? Because that's true in Kashmir. You go anywhere, you see that wave of Engineer Rashid.
So you are an Engineer Rashid fan. We'll come back to that. हम पूछेंगे Engineer Rashid versus Umar Abdullah because इसमें बहुत controversy है. People are saying he's a BJP guy. There are questions about how he got his funding, but we'll talk about all of this. What is the state of education? Are you happy with how?
No, absolutely not. As I said, there is no pragmatic knowledge, no practical, practicality is missing here when it comes to education. So if you take the same student from my semester who is studying in another state of this country, we're like entirely different.
Okay.
And it's not only about students, it's about the professors as well, like the people who teach us. तो फिर जो corporate sector है, MNCs है, they look for
practical
workers.
knowledge.
Obviously they look for people who are like very skilled, who know and also like about the language barriers. तो यहाँ पे skills वो ज़्यादा missing है. If there were enough corporate sectors or MNCs, people wouldn't have to rush to another states or to other countries. So, अगर वो the certain amount that I'm earning outside, if I can earn it here only, तो ना मेरा monetary loss होगा, ना मेरा lifestyle में change होगा, ना ही मैं अपने family से दूर होंगी. तो all of that, it takes a toll on your mental health as well. So it is something that has to be looked at.
So we'll talk about issues of mental health also because that's also important. But you, so are you going to be a journalist? Because before the camera you said nahi.
No, not at all.
Why?
दिमाग की बत्ती जल गई जल्दी.
What changed your mind? Because you're studying journalism,
Things around me, the things I saw, things happening with other journalists for talking, for writing. So that made me change my mind.
Okay.
And issues क्या हैं आपको लगता है इस election में?
इस election में like first let us breathe. Like let us breathe. Treat us like humans. Like let us express ourselves. Let us live. Like basic issues like I for example I'll tell you like पिछले 3-4 सालों से since like the abrogation, like there is this fear in the air, like which I want to go away. And most people like who are voting because you might have seen there has been a surge in the voting percentage in the parliamentary. Like most people are voting because they want that fear to go away. People are scared. They think that if we don't vote, then a certain party might be able to come to power, and then things might get even worse for
BJP may
us.
come to power and it may get worse.
A certain party.
Okay. So fear is something.
Fear is everywhere in Kashmir. It's this normalcy and everything. It's basically fear. People are scared.
And there's a sense that if you elect your own Kashmiri representative, they will act as a buffer.
So basically, like if something used to happen back in the day, you could just go to your local politician, or you could go to your local, whoever was your leader in the locality, and he could like maybe pitch in a word for you or help you out. But now you have outsiders. In the bureaucracy, you have outsiders. Like, see, people think like if BJP comes to power, then will be ruled by outsiders, and then there will be no one to hear them out. That's why I think people are coming out in large numbers to vote.
In Kashmir right now, the pressing issue, it is about the unemployment अगर हम if we will go to the unemployment ratio in Kashmir, it stands at the second topmost state with the educated unemployment youth. They are having the percentage of 46%, which is astonishingly frightening, and that leads to the depression, and which eventually leads to for at this point of time, which the youth are the main issue. Like with the unemployment, there is drug addiction, and they are correlating with each other. And the youth, if they don't have any opportunities, if they don't have anything when they are coming out of the colleges, universities, if they don't have any spaces to go to look for the work, they will get depressed. And given the political instability, it adds more to it. Like in Kashmir, like we are given some rights, then they're taken back. Then they say that law and order situation is there. The democracy has to be put on the halt. It also adds to the instability, because in Kashmir we just had under Article 370, we had just one thing. We had our land rights under Article 35, which have been taken away. So Kashmiris, like, we have been in a conflict zone. We haven't been open to the economy so much. We cannot compete with anyone. So our land rights, which aren't there at the moment, people might be thinking, we won't be competing anybody. At least let us vote for someone. Although there aren't the candidates we want to see, whom we want to vote, but it is something which is a necessary evil for us to choose anyone among there, except if there is a promising voice coming up in the form of Engineer Rashid.
Okay, we have 3 Engineer Rashid fans, so we'll talk about this.
इश्यूज़ के लिहाज से देखें तो इनका एक इशू सामने आया, डेमोक्रेसी इंपॉर्टेंट है, कश्मीरी रिप्रेजेंटेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, एजुकेशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है इन्होंने कहा, और इनका एक बड़ा इशू है कि यहाँ पर अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट पूरे देश में ज़्यादा है। तो ये 2-3 चीज़ें हो गई। 370 का जिक्र सिर्फ इन्होंने किया, बाकी लोगों ने नहीं किया। 370 यहाँ पर एक मेजर वो बदलाव का एक वो है, मोड़ है, जहाँ पर 2019 के बाद से चेंज हो गया। तो उस पर इन लोगों की क्या राय है, किस तरह से उसके बाद लाइफ बदली है, उस पर भी देखें, पहले बात करेंगे हम।
बाकी रेस्ट ऑफ इंडिया में ये एक बहुत सेलिब्रेशन का कॉज है कि 370 एब्रोगेट हुआ। कश्मीर हैज फाइनली बिकम completely wholly in mind, spirit, body part of India. So what do you
let me be very honest. Sab was not changa in Kashmir before 2019. Sab is not changa in Kashmir after the abrogation.
सब चंगा नहीं सी।
Sab changa nahi si. The things have deteriorated further. If there was a constitutional protection given to me by the Constitution of India, scrapping that in an unconstitutional way by jailing most of the people in Kashmir, by making Kashmir an open prison, is something that is unacceptable. Now, we have bigger issues than Article 370. We have the issue of drug addiction. We have the issue of unemployment. We have issue of not being able to speak out our hearts. That's more big issue than Article 370. Of course, all of us want Article 370 back. We want respect, safety, security, and dignity. One more thing what has changed post 2019 is that we have seen the central government and all other organs of the government saying overwhelmingly, हमने सबके हाथों में बैट दे दिया, आप देखो कितने बच्चे जी खेल रहे, वो कर रहे, ये कर रहे, इतने प्लेग्राउंड्स हमें बताइए। हमें आप खुदारा एक बात बताइए, बच्चा शाम को क्या बैट खाएगा या बॉल खाएगा? 46% of the educated youth of Kashmir are unemployed. 26% of the common youth are unemployed. What would they eat? At the end of the day, we are at a stage where we are fighting for our survival. Survival politically, socially, economically.
I believe that with the abrogation of Article 370 and the way it was done, I feel like common Kashmiri felt humiliated. So that humiliation, that can't be undone until and unless some big measures are taken. Some
What, for example, if you were to advise the government of India?
First of all, you should talk to people of Kashmir. No, the people in the power say that we want to talk to the youth of Jammu and Kashmir. We would not talk to the political dynasties. I may have hundreds of differences with the Abdullahs and Muftis, but at the end of the day, people chose them to be our representatives, or tomorrow they might vote Engineer Rashid to be power. So if people chose someone to be their representatives, at the end of the day, the students are supposed, the youth are supposed to study in the schools, study in the universities. Talking to the center is not our job. It's our job of our leaders. So first and foremost, I would tell them that you should restart dialogue with the elected representatives and all.
That's
That
a
is what
very
I would-
important point, that people have chosen whatever issues you may have with Abdullahs or Muftis or both the legacy parties here, but people have chosen them. And if you put them in house arrest, if you stop talking to them, it means you don't want to talk to people of Kashmir.
Yes.
That's the message that you guys got from that abrogation and the house arrests that happened.
And the suspension also for say 10-year election, there is no election, तो आपने एकदम से उन लोगों की आवाज़ को ही एक तरह suppress कर दिया.
Yeah, it was not only about the land rights, like issues that arised after the abrogation of 370. So they talked about the unemployment. So I feel like there is a wrong projection of development in our state. So ये कहते हैं कि the unemployment rate has decreased to 5%. अगर वैसा होता तो there wouldn't have been people just sitting at homes only. And then when it comes to education, infrastructure, तो वो तो कहीं है ही नहीं. Infrastructure, when you talk about हमारे like leave urban areas, if you talk about rural areas, transport problems, then you have like government school, like public sectors, you have government schools, they're like forced to sit on the floors. Seasonal changes ki wajah se, when you talk about winters, so there are a lot of issues, like there are not proper windows, doors, so which very severely affects the educational reforms in our state. So that also, those issues also come up with
You
it.
want to talk about this climate of suppression that people feel, because आप psychology पढ़ रही हैं, you are studying these issues, what impact it can have on your mind. Anything you want to add to how the youth feel here about not being able to express themselves?
Yeah, I mean, people need a voice, and
They need to let themselves.
they need to let themselves vent, which is not a case here in Kashmir. तो सामने क्या बात छोड़ें, you cannot even express yourself on social media.
कश्मीर के लोग और कश्मीर का जो पॉलिटिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन है, उसका आप लोग दिल्ली के साथ आप किस तरह का कनेक्शन, किस तरह का रिलेशन देखना चाहते हैं? वो किस तरह का हो जिससे बहुत एमिकेबल हो सकता है, रादर देन करंट सिचुएशन जिसमें आप बहुत सारी हॉस्टाइलिटी देखते हैं?
I think first of all, like जो major two parties है कश्मीर में, be it like National Conference or PDP, so like if Kashmiri people elect them, like even if they are they do their dynasty politics and whatever, like the central government should accept them. ठीक है, कश्मीरियों ने चुना है तो चुना है. Don't don't label them as like they are dynasty politicians, they're Pakistanis, they're this and that. Don't label them as. So if you are not respecting them, then you are not respecting the mandate that the people of Kashmir give them, right? So I think first of all there should be mutual respect. So like bring them on the common table and then start talking about things. And I think like जब 2019 में जो भी हो गया, when these politicians were put behind the bars, it was the first time, like not for the common mass but for them it was the first. So I think since then things went south for like Kashmir, like how Kashmir and Kashmir और जो Delhi के relations थे, they went like south, because एक ये भी होता है कि not like कश्मीर में पहले से इलेक्शन जो वोटिंग रेट परसेंटेज बहुत कम होती थी, बट स्टिल people who didn't even vote, they with them as their representatives in the parliament or the assembly, and when they were put behind the bar, so जो larger sentiment था वो दिल्ली के खिलाफ हो गया कि if they could do this with them, because हमारे साथ तो होता था, but now it was like now they could do like much worse to us. तो पहले वो हो गया. I think like जैसे हम देखेंगे 2019 के बाद जो मेजर चेंज आई, एक तो फेयर खतरनाक, मतलब देयर इज like fear everywhere, people are very scared, like people don't talk, people don't tweet, so there is this projection ke normalcy hai, people are happy, everyone is happy, but that's not true. And the other thing is that since 2019 अगर हम देखेंगे कि जो मतलब ब्यूरोक्रेसी कैसे चेंज हो गई है, फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी मतलब मेजर इशू है कश्मीर में, लाइक इस साल सबसे बड़ा इशू तो यही रहा है कि I'll tell you one thing, I've spent every summer of my life in Kashmir. Whoever used to rule whoever used to be in power, गर्मियों में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कभी, मैं श्रीनगर की बात करूँ, कभी नहीं जाती है. लाइक यू विल गेट लाइक 1-2 इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कट्स था पूरे 6 महीनों में. दिस ईयर हमें 6 घंटे 7 घंटे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी आती है, उसके बाद 3 घंटे ले लो, शाम को 3 घंटे ले लो. वेयर इज द इलेक्ट्रिसिटी गोइंग? लाइक अगर ये बोल रहे 2019 के बाद चेंज है तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी बड़ा होगा, तो वो कहाँ गया? तो हमें इस हिसाब से तो हमें विंटर्स में भी अब कट्स नहीं आने चाहिए. बट एक तो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्राइसेस कितनी हो गई, हर जगह मीटर्स लगा दिए गए, एंड इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इज नो वे टू बी सीन. So
जब ये इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के इशू हो रहा था, were you guys able to put your point across कि
no. So I'll tell you. I'll tell you, like I once saw this, two very senior Kashmiri journalists. They had tweeted something regarding electricity thing. What is going on? And the guy who they were holding accountable, the head of the electricity department, how he behaved with them. He's a civil servant and he's supposed to answer, and especially journalist की पहली job ही तो है to hold people in power accountable. And the way he talked with them and he talked with other people, तो मैं क्या ही बात करता फिर वहाँ पर? if I would tweet, I'm no one, मेरे साथ क्या ही कर सकता है? So it goes for all the departments, like people are high on power everywhere.
We want Jammu and Kashmir as far as any other state is, whatever their relationship with the center is. Like even if we had this Article 370, now we have been taken to the Union Territory. Now, the parties who are contesting in the elections, their manifesto is full of, they're prioritizing that we will be restoring the statehood, that will be bringing back the land rights. And this is where we are. We are standing somewhere which we had already crossed. We were there. Now, instead of talking of the development, taking people aboard, like the main producer, the main which is having the heavy weight in our GDP is agriculture. Rather than our politicians, rather than the parties trying to do what Himachal Pradesh is doing, they are giving the subsidies and everything. In Kashmir, like horticulture is in the revenue export, which is the exports we are sending outside, the revenue which we are generating, 80% is coming from the horticulture, from the apple industry. And we are producing, if India is having the need of 2.5 million metric tons of apples, we are producing 2 million of them. So it's a huge industry, but we don't have any, like recently, there was havoc in Shopian, which is a apple town of the Kashmir. But they don't have the insurance, crop insurance. They don't have the crop insurance.
Rain and
hailstorm. Their crop was havoked. They don't have this crop insurance like Himachal Pradesh is having. Their state is giving them. Himachal Pradesh is giving them. Although they have just 5 lakh metric tons, they are producing. They are producing 2 million metric tons, and we don't have crop insurance. We don't have even we don't have any subsidies. Let the subsidies go. We don't have any quality checking control over here. Like I belong to Apple Valley. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we used to just spray 3 or 4 pesticides. Now it has reached, unfortunately, to the number of 12. Because there is no check. Our parties should be talking this. But unfortunately, what has been done, they are talking now of statehood. They have to. Because they are made to come to that point where they have to deal, where they have to ask for the statehood, ask for the land rights. We are apprehensive. Even after the Kashmiris come to the vote, they will vote. But we will be again like Delhi, where the Kejriwal is spending more time with the LG's office, demanding, negotiating. Our CM the Chief Minister will be sending there, he'll be doing the same thing. And the Kashmiris will be just looking and waiting for the time to come, which never comes.
So, very important point, ki instead of talking about development issues, agricultural issues, youth issues, employment issues, you're back to discussing something very basic, which you already had.
Exactly.
Statehood.
Exactly.
So that's an important thing. I think let's talk about politics now. So 3 people to have said कि engineer Rashid में hope नजर आती है. So let's talk about engineer Rashid
You're
first.
talking about NC.
And he's not very
You are
convinced.
supporting.
I'm not convinced by any party, and I like I've never voted in my life, but I'm an eligible voter. But the situation is so tricky. Like I'm not able to make anything out of what's happening right now in the political scenario in Kashmir. Who is who?
एक तो बहुत चल रहा है कि यहाँ पे बहुत local लोग भी जिनसे हम बात करें, they're very suspicious of Engineer Rashid. How did he prop up? How has he come up? Who is he talking to? Whose script is he following? And then, of course, Ram Madhav yesterday tweeted ki separatist, rank separatist.
Mixed kind of reaction about this.
This narrative is not going, below the thought of common people. It is paradoxical for NEC or PD to talk about Engineer Rashid being BJP's agent, because you see, in Umar Abdullah, he had been deputy foreign minister in NDA government, so he. So people of Kashmir would tell him that you are then the biggest agent, and then talk about the PDP. They they were in coalition with the BJP in 2014. So it doesn't go down the thought of people, and at the same time, they see that all the political, all the politicians post abrogation Article 370, they were put under house arrest or they were put in SKICC, and then you see that how they were treated. As per Hindu report, more than 3 crore 50 lakh rupees was spent on them, and he was sent to jail. So this narrative is not fitting.
So you're saying the dynasty legacy parties were sent in comfortable
Yes,
jails
yes,
and money
and-
was spent on them,
and he was sent to
Indian
Tihar.
Rashid was sent to Tihar.
And Kashmiris have already tried the dynastic political parties. Like we had NC rule state for almost 60 years, and then we had PDP. We know what they got us to. The people of Kashmir are politically very mature. Why you see that there is a wave of Engineer Rashid? Because people in Kashmir don't believe lies. Maybe that at some point of time we say that yes, we are with you, but deep in our hearts we know what the reality is. We know who was the political party who made Article 370 just like a dead body. What BJP did in 2019 was last nail in the coffin. And how the PDP then responded to the killing of the people that happened in Kashmir. What was their tone then and what was their tone now? What people basically like about Engineer Rashid is that he has been constant in his tone.
So you think Engineer Rashid is a alternate to this NC and PDP as a long term?
Seemingly yes.
He can be an alternate.
Seemingly yes.
I may have.
What do you think about Jamaat?
I see the problem in current, narrative of the so-called mainstream political parties is that every other party who comes to the mainstream politics as of now, be it Jamaat or Engineer Rashid, they are being labeled as agents of BJP. I want to ask them, is it only their right to represent people? Let people decide who should represent them. Let I as a voter decide who is good for me, because I have my own sense.
So personally, like regarding the Engineer Rashid thing, first of all, I think like जो भी उसको vote आए like parliamentary election में, they were sympathy votes because people could sympathize with him because people.
No, I
themselves
disagree.
have-
Why I would
people
disagree is that
themselves,
Let him finish.
Okay,
people
let him
themselves have their family members locked up. ठीक है? Otherwise, people know कि he won't be out, he won't be able to represent them. ठीक है? First of all, that thing. Second thing, I was like very surprised. I didn't expect them to release him because he's a very serious case. That's a money laundering case, right? He's behind the bars because of that. And like releasing him just in time for the elections and campaigning, and then he'll be back by 2nd of October. So it didn't sit right with me personally. And the thing is, उसका भी तो अब dynasty, like भाई भी उतरा, बेटा भी है, खुद भी है, तो अब फर्क ही क्या है? Like maybe they have been in power for 70 years. Now he will be in power for another 70 years. So
see. Firstly, I'll comment on his point that
Sympathy vote.
yes, sympathy vote ka. See, when he fought he has been 2-time MLA from Langate. Firstly, secondly, when he fought in 2019, he got more than 1 lakh votes, 1,02,000 votes against Akbar Loan of National Conference. So back in 2019, he was not in jail. His kids were not telling our father is going to be sent to gallows, he's going to be hanged, so vote for him. No. At that time also, he got 1,02,000 votes. If these are sympathy voters, what those votes were? Firstly. Secondly, you are telling that, his brother is contesting elections. Why? He's in jail. He was in jail. So he was locked up. Till yesterday, nobody was sure that would he come out or not. Obviously, someone has to contest from his seat. Secondly, we're not against, sons or relatives of political leaders contesting elections. But why lies the problem? See, problem lies here, Sheikh Saab the, he was first the Prime Minister, then the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. Then his son becomes Chief Minister. Then his grandson becomes Chief Minister. Only
And now
yes, now they are extending their rule to generations Z in form of Zamir and Zahir. No, I have all due respect for these political figures. But the thing is that problem is here कि एक Chief Minister का बेटा ही Chief Minister बनेगा. Same goes with the PDP. When Mufti Saab died, there were many senior leaders in the party, and that became one of the main reasons why the party broke up. Because you are disrespecting leader. You know, there were colleagues of Mufti Saab. You had Muzaffar Beg. You had many senior politicians. Those who were far better than Mahbub Mufti in their stature, experience, and all that. But you are bringing and imposing Mahbub Mufti to be Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. This is where lies the problem. I don't have any problem Mahbub Mufti contesting elections, but they are not entitled to be the
top post.
So first of all, like, how Engineer Rashid got votes in 2019 or before that. So I will tell you, I used to follow Engineer Rashid very closely. Like, to be really honest, he didn't really look like a mainstream politician to me. Like the way he used to talk. Other people used to talk like that. But the thing is, he, the people connected with him because of the things he used to talk. Because let's be honest, that's what Kashmiri people really, want. And like the things that...
Like what are the things?
The things that he used to talk about. Like he used to talk about, let's say he used to talk about plebiscite. Like Parsu to uske, I think it was his brother or someone from his party said Engineer Rashid never talked about it. But then someone had attached a clip of him talking about that. Right, so that's one of the things he used to talk about, and connected with the mass, and people voted out. People voted for him.
So separatism is still in his political campaign.
It is. Huh? It's like at the core of his politics. So why is National Conference scared of people like Bharkati or Jamaat or Engineer Rashid? Because at the core there is like that separatism thing, in their politics, and they know that thing connects with the masses. And National Conference, I feel like no one can question their Indianness, if that's a word. Like, I think they're the most Indian Kashmiris to have ever lived. Like, they will give everything for India. Not like now the ruling party might question their Indianness, but I don't think there can be anyone more Indian than them.
It's not Indianness they are behind. It's the chair actually. If they will be given the chief ministerial post outside Kashmir, they will just run there. They will close their eyes and go there. But given this thing, like we were talking of the parties, like the candidates who are there and how they are treating each other, the proxies and everything. The magnanimity of the Sheikh, if it was there, like the Sheikh, what he did and how the love affair of the people changed it is there for everyone, like everybody knows about it. But what made Sheikh the Sheikh of Kashmir was the land reformation he did in 1972. He gave back the land from landlords to the tenants, and that made him the leader of the Kashmir. And currently, the Kashmir is again at the same crossroads when it is the issue of land. And I don't know why our leaders who are contesting the elections are blind to this issue.
Abdullah are the only who are very vocal for this कि हमको इसके लिए लड़ना है. Even फारूक अब्दुल्ला का तो स्टेटमेंट है कि चाहे 100 साल लड़ना पड़े हम लड़ेंगे. तो आपके ये तो केवल नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का ही सबसे क्लियर स्पेस स्टैंड है. आप कैसे कह रहे हैं कि कोई इसको छू नहीं रहा है लैंड इश्यूज को?
I am saying what their जो उन्होंने मैनिफेस्टो तैयार किया, the manifesto they gave, they should be going to the people and asking the votes for that. In the manifesto, it is like, we'll be restoring the dignity of the land, which is by preserving the land rights, by taking back the statehood. They should be educating the people through their rallies that this is the problem. But what they are indulged into? They are indulged into blaming each other, telling each other that they are proxies, and they are going too low that people are even confused on the ground. Who should we vote for? And for this time, like even I belong to Bijbehara, like Iltija Mufti is fighting from there. We don't have any other candidate other than Iltija Mufti. Like over there, Iltija Mufti seems the voice from our part of where from I belong. Like Kashmiris, they are coming up. We have to vote. We are voting. But if we are looking at your manifesto, and please stick to that.
What makes Engineer Rashid different from the other parties, as like NC and PDP, is that he has stood by his words. जब जो बात करनी थी जिस टाइम पे उसने उस टाइम वो बात की है. When other parties, they were busy doing, they were I don't know if I should say it or not, but they were suppressing, they were passing on comments which they denied later on, or which they justified for that matter. Like if I talk about PDP.
महबूबा मुफ्ती's comment कि बच्चे
दूध,
टॉफी लेने नहीं जाते हैं,
toffee
वो बहुत
लेने
अभी तक everyone talks about that.
Obviously, because it was like pretty much evident. People, I mean, this is the reason, and I also don't agree with the fact that people sympathize with him, because people actually know that whatever he was up to, he was very, like, he was truthful about it.
Back in 1987, what led to rigging of elections? So you have this national conference telling center that this is very much important, like we should take note of it. They were trying to tell the center, say, if MUF will come to power, the Pakistanis, they'll hijack everything, and no, Kashmir would be lost. In a democracy, you see, you have to let those rule who people chose themselves. I believe that had not they orchestrated rigging in 1987, things would have been entirely different. And we are presently at present juncture of time, we are, I fear that 1987 might not be, rewinded. The kind of support Engineer Rashidi is getting. So let people come out and vote. If they vote Engineer Rashidi, they are wise enough, who should they choose? See, when Umar Abdullah lost his elections in parliamentary elections 2024, he is tweeting excerpts from an article written in Indian Express that Engineer's win would lead to separatism and secessionism. It is win of radical Islamists. So what message he was trying to give to center? He was trying to alarm the center. See, he's a pro-separatist person. So he's he should be kept in jail only. No, that is not how you do politics. You have to gracefully deal with the rivals. You are labeling every second person who is coming to fight the elections as BJP students. That is not how you contest elections. You have been telling these Jamaat from 1987, do come participate in electoral politics. Now when they have chose to, why are you trying to?
उनको लग रहा है कि उनके हिस्से में कई सारे हिस्सेदार आ जाएंगे तो उनका हिस्सा छोटा हो जाएगा, ऐसा हो सकता है। पर मुझे एक चीज़, आपने 87 का जिक्र किया, तो आप सब लोग चूँकि फर्स्ट टाइम वोटर हैं, एक चीज़ मैं समझना चाह रहा हूँ, 87 में एक तो रिग्ड इलेक्शन एक बहुत बड़ा रीज़न बताया जाता है कि जिसकी वजह से सारा उठा पटक यहाँ शुरू हो गया।
That was not the only reason, but that was one of the main.
पर ये कोई एक बहुत शॉर्ट में मैं जानना चाह रहा हूँ कि बहुत सारी जगह पे इलेक्शन रिग्ड होते हैं, हमने देखा है यूपी से लेके बिहार से लेके, मतलब देयर वाज लॉट्स ऑफ वायलेंस, बैटल, ये सब होता है। पर उसका एक ये रीज़न हो सकता है कहीं लेजिटिमेट रीज़न कि उसकी वजह से आर्म्ड स्ट्रगल शुरू हो जाए, उसकी वजह से हथियार लोग उठा लें, क्योंकि वो सारे लोग जो इलेक्शन लड़ रहे थे 87 में, उन लोगों ने हथियार जाके उठा ले। ये मतलब इसको लेजिटिमाइज करना, to be very honest,
violence is not justified. कोई भी रीजन हो, वायलेंस कांट बी जस्टिफाइड, नंबर फर्स्ट। नंबर सेकंड, 1987 रिगिंग तो होती है, बाकी स्टेट्स में भी होगी, दैट वाज मास रिगिंग। देखिए, इलेक्टोरल पॉलिटिक्स है, दैट इज द वे यू एक्सप्रेस योरसेल्फ। जब आप यू आर मजलिंग पीपल्स एवेन्यूज कि आप एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हो, वैसे व्हाट दे वुड टेक रिजॉर्ट टू वायलेंस। आप देखिए, आप यू आर टेलिंग द पीपल, यू आर कमिंग टू इलेक्टोरल पॉलिटिक्स, पीपल आर वोटिंग फॉर people have voted for MUF. So आप लोगों को यहीं से बोल रहे हो कि आपको नहीं करना है, आप we have reserved this right for Abdullahs. Only they can.
Right.
Let's talk about the media now. I think Kashmir is always in headlines. Lots of debates, lots of conversations around Kashmir. How do you guys see media's representation of Kashmir? I'm talking about Delhi media especially, national media. किस तरह से कश्मीरियों को दिखाते हैं, और उसमें आप क्या सोचते हैं उसके बारे में? योर इनिशियल कमेंट्स।
मीडिया इज as it is one of the pillars of the democracy. It can change the narrative, it can change the consent. You ask it anything, it can do it for you. Like in Kashmir, what has happened, like in 5 years, we have seen only a good thing, like not only a good thing, but one of the good things. जो हुई है, like the tourists have come back to the Kashmir. There is no doubt about it. But it's not that Kashmir has changed. Kashmir is same what it was before Article 370. Only thing, like in Kashmir, if you will see, the crime rate against tourists is minimal. If you will go to any other state of the India, Kashmir stands at the top. There hasn't ever been any case where the tourists have been harmed, whether it was conflict or whether it was not.
In conflict,
Now,
though, there were tourists who were killed by militants.
in the very inception of it.
Yeah.
But if we talk about the rate and percentage, Kashmir comes like at the bottom of it. There ain't much crime against it in the recent past. So what has happened in these 3 years? The narrative in the media had been bought up that Kashmir is safe now you can go. The media came afford to the people that Kashmir is safe now you can go. They came. And we saw the change. So media has to do everything. But given in Kashmir, there is a much need that there was like the Editors Guild in India. We had our very press club of Kashmir, which isn't there, which is kind of sad, which should be there. And the journalists, they should have a collective platform to safeguard their safety, to safeguard their whatever the blueprint they make. They should have at least a platform to assemble somewhere and trace out their strategies, how to go covering whatever is happening in the Kashmir.
So basically, unka to like how they set up the narrative Kashmir ke regarding depends on what the center wants them to do. Like in the recent past, like the Godi media. So whatever the center wants them to show Kashmir is normal, dikha to tourist numbers are rising. Now kuch ho gaya kisi jagah. Now they want to boycott coming to Kashmir. Dikha do how Kashmiris are, vilify Kashmiris, do this and that. Another thing is that Delhi media, they get Kashmir so wrong every time. Like they have no idea of what's happening on the ground, what's cooking, how politics work in Kashmir. They have it all wrong. I think they basically get a press note from somewhere, and like they won't research it or like do their own investigation what's happening. They will just pass it off as they receive it. So I think Delhi media gets Kashmir very wrong, and उनके issues तो मतलब है ही नहीं कश्मीरीज के issues जो उनके लिए है. उनके लिए कश्मीरीज का issue जैसे like my friend said के like the bat ball, Kashmiris are now going out, cinema है बस
Naya Kashmir.
That's for people are going to cinema. That is Naya Kashmir. Like cinemas didn't exist in Kashmir before 90s. So for them that is development, and like सड़कें ठीक कर दी थोड़ी बहुत lights बस that is development. But livelihoods of people, like are people making enough money to sustain their families? Are there enough jobs? How is the the education quality in Kashmiri institutes? And are there, like there are no like
एक stereotype भी होता है that maybe all of them are separatists, all of them are pro-Pakistanis, all of them are pattharbaz. Do you feel that like there is a stereotype? And does that impact you as a Kashmiri, especially when you travel outside Kashmir?
See, if that's the thing, then there is no normalcy in Kashmir. Then the central government has failed completely. If they still believe that people here believe in those things, then the central government has completely failed. And now Kashmir has been a part of India since, let's say, 75-76 years. And if that sentiment is still on the ground, then the central government, be it Congress, be it the state governments, be it the BJP in the center, then all of them have failed to change what Kashmiris think and what Kashmiris want.
So as you said that there are like stereotypes attached to Kashmiris, but when we talk about tourists who come to Kashmir, so they give a lot of interviews in which they say that it's a very safe place, we love the people. That is also very shocking for us because that is normalized. It's normalized to an extent where people think that it's एक separatist ideology है जिसके बारे में आपने बात की. तो even when people say that no, it's very safe and people are very good, वो हमारे लिए वो चीज़ भी normal नहीं है. It's not.
In the sense you feel कि ये एक talking point क्यों है?
Exactly.
Why we think that it is safe.
Yeah.
Why is it a news point that it's safe?
And about how media portrays it, as far as I remember, let's not talk about 2019. Back in 2016 का unrest जो था, उस time पे every day people were killed, like there were mass killings हुई, and media didn't show that. नहीं, जो चीज़ें मीडिया तक आनी चाहिए थी वो बिल्कुल भी नहीं आ रही थी, except for some news channels जो कि local थी हमारे यहाँ.
अभी भी मेन स्ट्रीम में बस वही चीज़ें आती है जो इनके नैरेटिव को सूट करती है. There is not true representation of the people of Kashmir and the sentiment of Kashmir. मेरा ये मानना है कि एक मैकेनिज्म होना चाहिए जिसकी वजह से हर कोई इंसान अपना थॉट एक्सप्रेस करे. इफ़ यू आर containing that thought, it's a very dangerous situation to be in. For example, we know what happened in 2019 or even after that. हर कोई आप अगर आज national media देखोगे तो what is ruling there is कि people of Kashmir are very happy, everything is so hunky-dory everywhere. Yeah, hunky-dory everywhere. It's all fine. We have changed Kashmir. You see, the people of Kashmir have developed as if 2019 से पहले मैं सिल्वर का था, अब मैं गोल्ड का बन गया हूँ. But the things are different. एक जो कैजुअल लेबरर है उसको 3,000 3,500 रुपये सैलरी है. बिजली बिल आती है 2,000 रुपये. वो बिजली बिल भरेगा, वो बच्चों को खिलाएगा, वो मेडिकल एक्सपेंसेस उठाएगा, वो एजुकेशन बच्चों को देगा, वो करेगा क्या? दिस इज समथिंग नो वन टॉक्स अबाउट.
सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की इतनी स्कीम्स हैं ऑल ओवर इंडिया और हम बहुत सुनते हैं कि राशन की स्कीम्स हैं, हाउसिंग की स्कीम्स हैं. यहाँ पे यू डोंट थिंक दैट
राशन की स्कीम मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि पहले जब हमें स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स थी तो राशन अच्छे से मिलता था. अब जनाब हर किसी शख्स को 5 किलो राशन मिलता है, विच मीन्स कि मुझे मोदी जी का बर्तन लेके राशन घाट पे जाना है कि सर 370 भी हट गया तो मुझे 5 किलो चावल दे दीजिए, मैं 1 महीना सर्वाइव करता. आई एम सो इकोनॉमिकली डिपेंडेंट ऑन देम एज ऑफ नाउ दैट आई कैन नॉट थिंक ऑफ माई इंडिपेंडेंट एग्जिस्टेंस. पावर कश्मीर से आता है और हमें ही पावर नहीं.
Electricity,
I mean electricity, and this is a very serious situation. The drug addiction, the rise in drug addiction. जब हमारे थॉट को एक्सप्रेस नहीं होने दिया, जब हमारे थॉट को रिप्रेजेंट नहीं होने दिया, क्योंकि 10 साल बाद तो आप इलेक्शन करा रहे हो, कैसे रिप्रेजेंट हो जाएगा? जर्नलिस्ट को आप थ्रू लॉज उनको अंदर कर रहे हो तो रिप्रेजेंट कैसे होगी वॉइस? सोल्यूशन तो तब निकलेगा किसी बात का कि जब मैं कुछ बोलूंगा, आप वहां से कुछ बोलोगे. वी विल रीच टू अ म्यूचुअल एग्रीमेंट. आप मेरी बात सुनने के लिए तैयार हो नहीं, फिर कहते हो सब चंगा है. मैं तो कहता भी नहीं हूं सब चंगा है, मैं तो कुछ कहता ही नहीं हूं. दिस इज द स्टेट ऑफ कश्मीर एंड द पीपल ऑफ कश्मीर सी डेवलपमेंट बाय द आईज ऑफ अ कॉमन कश्मीरी. टू मी डेवलपमेंट मीन्स डिग्निटी. Unless I don't have dignity, nothing matters to me.
So I believe that mainstream media of India is doing most disservice to the nation. They are burying grave for Indian interest in Kashmir. Why I'm saying so is that their negative portrayal of Kashmiris, that is not how you integrate people. By negatively portraying Kashmir, you are actually alienating them. Not only about the Kashmiris, if you negatively portray Indian Muslims, that affects us. You see the real issues, nobody talks about them. Talk about the parliamentary elections. I see only one journalist, among the hundreds and hundreds of mainstream journalists who talked about the representation of Muslims in parliament, Rajiv Sardesai. Now, I literally saw people rejoicing. They were saying at least someone is talking about them. So nobody is. The more you negatively portray Kashmiris, the stereotyping you do about them, the more you are alienating people.
What is the biggest stereotype you think you find in mainstream media?
ये portray करना कि every Kashmiri is a they love violence, को मजा आता है. या see exodus, every
exodus of Kashmiri Pandits.
Exodus of Kashmiri Pandits. See how they negatively portray it in media. Talk about the Kashmir Files movie.
But that was a negative thing that
yes,
happened. So we have to talk about it openly.
We accept it. But then talking, every common Kashmiri, they orchestrated the exodus. The common Kashmiris feel that had not the center, through the then governor Jagmohan Sinha, allowed it to happen, the exodus would not have happened. We believe that state is partially responsible for it, even though non-state actors also played a role, and we condemn it. Like we condemn, what was done to Kashmiri Pandits, and we feel for them. We feel them; they should be rehabilitated, and we request the current dispensation, the BJP government, that you have been in power for almost more than 10 years now. What did you do for the rehabilitation of Kashmiri Pandits? Go and talk to the Sanjay Tikku of Kashmir Pandit Sangharsh Samiti. He said that the center is not sincere about rehabilitating Kashmiri Pandits. Why don't you talk about them? So if you were the well-wishers of true, Kashmiri Pandits, then you would have rehabilitated them. You have taken at least made a try. You have not even made a start for rehabilitation of Kashmiri Pandits. So you are portraying ki every Kashmiri was responsible for exodus of Kashmiri Pandits. That hurts people of Jammu and Kashmir. That
कश्मीर
alienates
फाइल्स
them.
देखी आपने?
No, I didn't.
अच्छा, किसी ने देखी यहाँ पे?
I didn't watch it because it was like quite.
Do you have Pandit friends?
Yeah, I do.
You do. Okay. Because this is one blot on the history of Kashmir. And while you may talk about communalism in other parts of the country, the big reality is that यहाँ भी communal tension था. People, were forced to leave. So, your relationship with Kashmiri Pandits, you said you have a friend. What do they feel about this? And of course, what do you think the solution can be for them to come back?
Like just like other, like, see, when people from other states of Kashmir can come to Kashmir and they can like roam around, like live here safely, people from other states can work here, why can't our own Kashmiri brothers can come back and
But there have
settle
been
here?
attempts at their life, like last 3 years we've seen assassinations, killings of.
But the thing is, see, like that happened with non-local laborers as well, right? They didn't ask all of them to vacate, like don't come to Kashmir, but they didn't ask tourists to not come to Kashmir, right? They are actually promoting, tourism in Kashmir. Come to Kashmir, don't go to Europe, come to Kashmir. Why can't they do the same, with Kashmiri Pandits? Why can't they go back to their own homes? I'll tell you, like my mother tells me how she had Kashmiri Pandit friends, how she used to, go with them, play. I recently visited a mandir with my Kashmiri Pandit friends, and then they tell me about what they feel like, how they, like, there is identity, the Kashmiri identity, which has existed like way before the Indian identity came into existence, right? Like, so they tell us when they go to, like, most of them live in Delhi and all, they say that, so they are Hindus, right? They're Pandits. The other Hindus in India, they can't relate to them. They tell them, why are you eating this? Why are you doing that? Right? So, as a Kashmiri, I know what their rituals are, what their culture is, right? My mom knows what what their festivities are, right? They feel this like उनकी वो identity खो गई है, like वो बीच में limbo में रह गए कि हम यहाँ के हैं कि वहाँ के हैं, right? Because बाहर तो accept कोई नहीं करते. They will talk on TV कि they are our brothers, we'll fight for them, that. But no, they don't care about them. They just, and they want this issue to linger around because it's an election issue. अगर कश्मीर का issue जाएगा तो दोनों कंट्रीज में इलेक्शन किस पर लड़ेंगे?
पर इसमें एक प्रॉब्लम है ना, जो आप बता रहे हैं कि बहुत सारे लोगों के ऊपर लेबर्स भी आ रहे हैं बाहर से उनके ऊपर, लेकिन सेंस ऑफ सिक्योरिटी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है. अगर एक सिंगल कोई अटैक भी हो रहा है और उस आइडेंटिटी की वजह से हो रहा है, तो फिर वो पूरा का पूरा माहौल ख़राब हो जाएगा. तो फिर वो फेथ नहीं बनेगा, वो कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं आता ना कि लोग वापस आके रहें. उनको लगता है एक भी कहीं किसी को, और वो टारगेट कौन हो सकता है, यू नेवर नो. आप कुछ कहना चाह रहे हैं इस मामले पे?
लाइक कश्मीरी पंडित्स का कश्मीर से जाना, it wasn't like जैसे exodus होता है. It wasn't any of that. The Kashmir belongs to them as it belongs to us. Nobody should be denied their homeland.
पर ये exodus तो हुआ.
Exodus हुआ. But yeah, exodus हुआ. But I will tell you why we see it. Exodus in a way, it was a mass migration. Exodus in a way कि the way people sometimes, like when we see exodus is happening, that people are chasing them, that they are being thrown away. I will tell you just one anecdote what I have been hearing from my parents, like where from I belong, the half of the population was of Kashmiri Pandits. Our village, it's called Mahand. Mahand was a very much with all the reverence, he was a Kashmiri Pandit. On his name, our village has the name of Mahand. So, hearing the stories that when during the time when they left, my Fufi, she said that I wasn't born at that time. She narrated the story that they were being told by the administration, tomorrow the buses are coming and you are supposed to leave tomorrow. So we went to their houses. They came to us. We were weeping together. We were embracing each other. And after, in the morning, when they were leaving, we were all weeping together. So this was a scenario in which they left. It was more of the administration at that time, the government couldn't provide them the security. And we are very sorry for that. Like the Kashmiris who are here, even we, at times, in those conflict times, we didn't feel ourselves safer. We couldn't just hold you back, but we want you back. We want them back here.
There are still Kashmiri Pandit families that live in Kashmir and they live peacefully here. They live like any other ordinary Kashmiri here. I hope someday our Kashmiri Pandit brothers come back to us, but they should live among us. This whole idea of making separate colonies for them is against the ethos of being a Kashmiri. We believe in unity. We have always believed in unity. It's not just that Kashmiri Pandits were killed. Kashmiri Muslims were killed too. 1 lakh of the Kashmiri people were killed. If we talk of 246 Kashmiri Pandits who were killed back then, that's extremely wrong. But then if 1 lakh Kashmiri people were killed, that's equally wrong.
But the difference is that there's a communal angle to one thing which makes everyone unsafe. Like you say, like when you hear of atrocities against Muslims in other parts of the country, it makes you feel unsafe. एक specific उसका
Sure.
connotation है
Yes.
of communal targeting.
There is always an attempt to disturb Kashmir by so many forces. We all know how many international forces there are who want to disturb peace. If for some time there was an attempt to, disturb the communal tension, what should have administration done? They should have provided them security for some time, because Kashmiris by nature are not communal.
You would say that?
Yes, and with utmost sincerity and honesty that the people of Kashmir are not communal. Because otherwise the Pandit families still living here peacefully would not have been living here. And moreover, there are so many, laborers working here peacefully even before the abrogation of 2019. Some 5 lakh, 6 lakh workers are working here, and that too safely. Yes, there have been incidents of violence, but then portraying one incident of violence, you cannot negate the whole fact and label whole of the Kashmiris communal. That attempt was being done by Kashmir Files. We got hurt. We are not communal by nature. We want love, we want peace, we want prosperity, we want security, we want dignity. We are fed up with all this. We don't want bloodshed.
एक आखिरी सवाल आप लोगों से इसी से जुड़ा हुआ, आप लोग जो कि सबसे यंग जनरेशन है जो कि इलेक्शन को फेस कर रहे हैं, और ये कह रहे हैं भाई नेचर दे आर नॉट, कश्मीरीज आर नॉट कम्युनल, बट सेपरेटिज्म, इन सब चीज़ों का अभी किसी तरह का आफ्टर, स्पेशली आफ्टर 370 एब्रोगेशन चला जाए, ख़त्म हो चुका है, सेपरेटिज्म किसी तरह से एग्जिस्ट करता है या उसके लिए किसी तरह का सपोर्ट आप लोग पाते हैं अपने लोगों के बीच में?
I don't really know. Nobody is expressing himself. So I don't know what lies there in the hearts of people. I was hearing People's Conference president yesterday. He said that no, the sentiment is there. It's just that they have gone underground. So if you ask some Kashmiri, what are your views about separatism?
You're talking about Sajad Loon.
Yes, Sajad Loon. Yes. So I don't know. I don't know what is there inside the hearts of people. But at least they are not expressing it. That's what I would say.
Now, at least one thing we hear about Kashmir after abrogation is that schools and colleges have run without any breaks. So earlier there would be unrest, schools would shut down, universities would shut down, there would be curfews. Normal life has gone on seamlessly in Kashmir since the abrogation. So curfews nahi hai, restrictions, matlab in the sense shutdowns nahi ho rahe. And the abiding image jo Kashmir ki thi of stone pelters, that would be always headlines, that has stopped. What do you have to say about that? Do you see that at least as some positive that has come out?
But at what cost?
Same. At what cost?
There was complete blackout for almost 6-7 months. No internet, nobody could out. There was curfew for many weeks. So after that, obviously, people of Jammu and Kashmir, they realized that they shouldn't express themselves. And then you see that there has been no stone pelting, street violence and all that. But you have to see that is this enduring? Like how long will this go? Until and unless you are not able to integrate people of Jammu and Kashmir in true sense. यहाँ peace आने वाला नहीं है. You have to integrate people of Jammu and Kashmir. आप हम कदगने लगा सकते हैं, आप suppress कर सकते हैं, लेकिन that is not long lasting. मेरा ये कहना है कि you should talk to people, try to integrate them. ऐसे नहीं होता है. If you really want peace in Kashmir, then you should start dialogue. You should start integrating the people's hearts and minds.
Talking about education, you said there are no curfews and all this, and education is going at a very good speed. But even after education, there are no jobs, which means if you go by the recent data, the number of applicant students in the higher education, universities of Kashmir is showing a very, significant dip. Why so? If everything is normal, कोई कर्फ्यू नहीं है, कोई हड़ताल नहीं है, फिर लोग क्यों कम जा रहे हैं यूनिवर्सिटीज की तरफ और बाकी हायर एजुकेशन की
But
तरफ?
there you are at par with rest of India because ये complaint हर इंडिया के हर यूनिवर्सिटीज से बच्चों की आती है कि जॉब्स नहीं है.
Like internet restoration is not even the bare minimum. Like internet खोला, schools start हुए, वो मतलब is not even a topic to be touched. पहली बात तो उसके बाद जो new reservation policy आई है जिसमें 10% of it they carved out of our open merit general category and they gave it to Paharis. तो उससे हमारा और भी ऐसे तो already हमारा unemployment was at its peak. Now you जो 40% में से 10% भी गया, अब वहाँ कुछ बचा ही नहीं. तब like students who work very hard, they have nothing to do. They score like 2-3 times more than what a Pahadi would or somebody from ST
But then the point of
category.
reservation is that we.
But if you keep on adding, and they also
successfully marginalized communities have to have representation.
Yeah, but
so that isn't that a good thing?
कुछ time पहले I read it that they said that somebody said that we'll add up onto it and we'll keep on like adding up to the reservations, right? So I mean, how is that going to help us?
पर एक चीज़ बताइए, रिजर्वेशन जैसी चीज़ जैसे पहाड़ियों को अगर यहाँ मिल रहा है तो उससे दिक्कत क्या हो सकती है? मतलब आप ही के लोग हैं, उनको भी रिप्रेजेंटेशन स्टेट में मिलना चाहिए.
See, the thing is that we're not against the concept of reservation per se.
Yeah.
That is what has been provided in the constitution. But there has to be a balance between affirmative action and merit. See, after new reservation policy, you have enhanced the reservation up to 70%. Then you have population of Jammu Kashmir 69% comprising of open merit. So for open merit, you have 30% of seats in government jobs and in admissions and all that. For 69% of the Kashmir's population. So there is not balance between the affirmative action and the merit.
In our Kashmir, we don't have any private firms, private sector that can cater the unemployment. The only employment provider is government. And in the government, now they have taken the reservation up to 70%. A state which is at the top list of unemployment, taking the reservation above 50%, where the Supreme Court has put a cap on in the through the Mandal Commission. They have put a cap that you cannot go beyond 50%. But now just to cater some votes from the Jammu region, the Kashmiris mostly are open merit, which makes us like 80% of us in the Kashmir region. We belong to the open merit, but the reservation is it has been drafted to just get some votes from the.
So there should be a cap in reservation.
There should be cap in the reservation. Like open merit, it has been reduced. If we are the 80% of the population, then how come it justifies that we are being given the just 30% of the share of the jobs?
Great. Thank you so much for this conversation. Two big issues. Of course, ये तो हर मुद्दा होता है. हर यूनिवर्सिटी में हम जाते हैं. There's a lot of anxiety around unemployment, future. Kashmir में एक special चीज़ है. The literacy rate is high. It's around 67%.
Unemployment is really
also very high. So the education level is high and the unemployment level is also very high. So there's anxiety around it. And then of course there is this main issue of the abrogation. What sort of relationship should an average Kashmiri have with Delhi? And what happens to the representatives that they choose? That is one important point of discussion that we heard here. कि अगर आपने एनसीपी को चूज़ करा है, पीडीपी को चूज़ करा है और अगर वही हाउस अरेस्ट होते हैं या उन्हीं की बात नहीं सुनी जाए तो एक एवरेज कश्मीरी की बात कौन सुनेगा? Thank you so much for watching this show. I hope it was insightful. We are going to be in Srinagar for the next few days. We will be getting you interviews from Engineer Rashid. Hopefully, we'll be meeting him, from Iltija Mufti, from Umar Abdullah. So key players of Kashmir, we'll be interviewing them, and we'll try and bring you as many voices from the ground as possible, because in mainstream media, we debate a lot about Kashmir, but we don't hear the voices of the average Kashmiri on the ground. Thank you for watching this show, and thank you so much for supporting our NL Sena. We've been able to come here, be here, do all of this because you guys supported our election fund. Thank you for that. Keep supporting News Laundry. Subscribe to News Laundry if you want more election-related ground reports from us.